Week 5, the other side of the review. Told you guys it's gonna keep it live, man. Obviously, I'm missing my other half here. My co-host, my partner over here, Dev, had some things she had to get to. So, you know, that's how life is. You got to get to it. So we wasn't going to do it today. We were going to go ahead and pass, or we were going to take it on the road. And then I thought about it, and it's like, you know, there's a lot of podcasts. There's a lot of different things in life where things are able to be done individually as well. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about personal growth. We're going to go over a couple topics, some things that we can do personally. And man, we want people to interact. We want people to go ahead and give us some feedback. We want to know what you think, how you feel. Maybe you've had a situation. Maybe you've had something that you've encountered or something that you've gone through in life that has to do with personal growth, whether it be outgrowing you, you know, because that's really, honestly, I think that's the goal in life. At least that's the way I view it. That's the way I see it. Or maybe it's outgrowing those around you. And, you know, it comes sometimes a point in life where people would rather almost see you fail so that they look as though they're more successful or they're better off because you're not doing as good as you could possibly be doing. So they'd rather keep you around versus to see you leave. It could even be just in the fact I've seen it, man. I've been through it in a sense in life. Leaving places where people just wanted you to stay because they loved you. People really gave a fuck about you and wanted you to stay around and didn't realize that all of the things that you did and they did as you stayed around really jeopardized you not just becoming you, but being you, where that was a part of you. And we all got parts. And I'm learning that honestly in myself for personal growth, where I look at my past and I look at my present. And today being a gift, you know, I'd say given by God, that's a present that everybody should understand is priceless. You know, you're talking about life. You're talking about air in your body, you know, and blood in your veins. It's something that during a human being living, your mama included, that can ensure that and make sure that that's going to continue to go. So, you know, I continue giving him the credit, you know, the Father up there. And then, you know, I praise Christ. You know, I would say I'm that guy that gets into that to where I like to give credit where credit's due. You know, and for people always, I have people ask me in the sense, even on belief, not to go too far off on the tangent, is like, well, why? You know, and again, it's because of what's done. It's because of what's seen. It's because of what's encountered. It's because of what's felt. So these are all things that I base anything that it is in life that I believe on. You know, I believe in math because numbers have never lied to me. You know, I believe in, again, faith because it's always worked. I believe in love because I've never been without it. Whether it even just be me loving myself or whether it be him loving us. But yeah, back to this personal growth thing, man. I've experienced things in life where, you know, I'm from Toledo, Ohio. If anybody here listening has been to, or the surrounding area, and even the surrounding cities and states around us are kind of crazy. But it seemed growing up, Toledo was a place that people would, yes, rather have you in the hood doing what it is that you are obviously, if you're good at it, you're good at it. I've seen bad hustlers, I've seen horrible robbers, and I've obviously seen dumb killers. So at the same time, I've seen people that are very good at busting J's. I've seen people that are very good at making plays and making things happen wherever it is they live at, because that's just that person. But when people would rather have you there with them in the midst of a bunch of mess versus out here in life, and that can be anywhere, where you can be actually maxing out your potential and becoming, again, the best you possible. So some know it, some don't. You know, those that know it, obviously we call them haters. Those are people that, man, they wouldn't want to see their mama doing good, to be honest. They would feel bad about themselves knowing that they had some worth and they just wasn't really getting it in. And that happens, man. And I feel for those people, and I pray for those people that they get cool with them. You know what I'm saying? With yourself inside, because I think it's something inside with you that would stop you from wanting to actually see somebody being and doing good. For myself personally, I couldn't imagine a day ever really that I've ever looked at a person and said, you know, man, I hope he falls or I hope he does bad. I'm like, man, I hope this nigga never makes it, you know. And that don't even sound right coming out of my mouth even. That was a fight to even say that, because I've always seen the people grow And when they grew, it always really inspired me to do great things because I saw people do great things. Meaning it didn't matter where you was from, it was always how you came. You know what they say is, it ain't where you from, it's how you come. So I'll explain that for everybody that they don't miss that. But it's how you come at a situation. It's the reaction in the situation. It's your actions in a situation. It's the way you come at things versus where you come from. You know, us being from the Midwest, it seems as though people in the South have told us we're quick on the draw. We speak quick. We do things quick. We move quick. And they're right. 100%. They also said we were sensitive. And I believe that too. You know, it's hard for us up north to take a joke. And it's because things is cold, man. It's cold-blooded up here. But we'll get back on this. And I guess we're still on the topic of personal growth. So apologies if I get off on a tangent. I feel like I'm speaking to myself. So please, if you guys want, man, call in, chime in. You guys let us know what you guys think. You make sure I can get you guys up here. I'm pretty sure it's up here. Yep. So I can see you guys on Messenger. Or Facebook, should I say. Working on getting us on Lander and Twitch as well, so you guys can see us live on Lander and Twitch. Like I said, I'm learning a lot about this podcasting. It's not a profession of mine, but I'm learning to become more professional at it. That's the goal, right? Again, personal growth. So I want to know if you've ever been in a situation in life where you were somewhere, you've been somewhere for a amount of time, and you started to look in the mirror, you started looking at yourself, you started looking at the people around you, and you're like, man, I feel like I could be somewhere else. I feel like I could be somewhere else doing something else. I feel like I could be somewhere else doing something else better than what I'm doing right now. That's a question I got for everybody out there. Again, you guys can call in, phone numbers on there now. I'm pretty sure we put the button there for the click. Now you can just click, it'll ring on in here, and then we'll be able to talk to you guys live. But we'd really like to know about that one right there. If you've ever been to a place, in a place in life where you feel like that, you know, I'm done here, I've outgrown here. I've grown here though. Remember that to outgrow something, you've got to grow. So no matter where you're at, know that if you're looking at leaving somewhere, I believe personally, look at yourself before you look at leaving anywhere. Because I think if you got bad habits, and you live life in a bad way, then you're going to take those bad habits and bad ways wherever you go. It don't matter if you went east, north, south, west, and went in the center in Nashville and prayed that you was going to be the best. I'm telling you, they done wrote a rock country rap song about it. You got to be you, but be a good you to have a good view and to have a point where you're like, well, I'm an asset no matter where I go. And I think we're all going to have problems in life. We're all going to have situations. We're all going to have tests and trials in life that we're all going to have to go through. But overall, you know, if you don't have a lot of bad habits, and I use the word actually heavy on the word a lot. A lot is excess, man. It's past just, you know, I smoke cigarettes. Horrible habit. Horrible habit. That's actually bad. It's more worse on me than anything and anybody else. But it affects the image of a person as well, as far as in the choices a person makes. Smoking cigarettes is ironically an idiotic ass thing. Let's just be honest with it. I'm a realist. So for me, I know that smoking cigarettes is taking away actual air and oxygen from my body. Like, so there's no question about if it's a good decision or a bad decision. Obviously it's a bad decision, but what is called a bad habit, because we all make bad choices. So it's actually an addiction, and I'm not going to weigh on that too much, but I'm just going to say it's a choice and it's a bad one. So wherever we're looking at going in life and wherever we've always gone in life, we knew that there was a slate that was pretty much, it was clean, but we wanted to make sure that we continued to be ourselves so that everything lined up. It all matched. You know, that's why I've never really been big on lying, because then the stories don't match. You can't collaborate with people because you're always thinking of I would assume thinking of something else to go with something else versus just telling the story as it was and as it is. Then you don't have a memory issue. You're not sitting there stumbling, looking silly, trying to figure out what you're going to say versus you just telling the story as the storyline was. But when you look to go somewhere before you leave, look at where you're at. You know, is this place possibly a place that can provide for you, where you got food, water, and shelter? You know, these are things that you're going to need in clothing, in a job, in transportation, and, you know, the ability to work, but also the places and the means and the places to work. So all these things are factors in this decision, in this equation, because you're going to equal in the end to something. You're going to get a total. The thing is if your formula is right, you should come out a winner, no matter what. I'm going to say no matter what. If your formula is right, you know, if you base these things off of real things, and you don't just base these things off of feelings. You don't base these things just off of emotions. You base these things, I'm told, off of facts. So you got to look at not just you, but the people around you. Are these people good for you? Is this place good for you? Does it inspire you, or do you become depressed? Does it drag you down, or does it uplift you? You know, because I think it is good to be around people that are uplifting. Because if you're an uplifting person, if you're an uplifted person, there we go. If you're a person that's positive anyways, you may be a motivator. Motivators need motivated. You can't be around people that are negative and you're a positive consistent. If you're a consistent positive, you also need to be around positive people, because in life, like I said, there's going to be trials. There's going to be days that aren't as positive, literally, in everything in the aspect of what's happening. That's your storm. So you're going to want to be positive, but you're going to need to be around positive people, because they're going to help you stay positive, versus being around a person that is typically negative, is typically down on the situation, typically is not about a solution and resolution. Really, they're more about carrying it on. And that's all that shit. They would say, oh man, you carrying on. Anybody trying to hear about that? It's ranting, really, pretty much. So that there's not really progressive in that. So it's something in the process you try to eliminate. Again, in that equation, that's one of the numbers. It's like, oh, they don't even belong there. What the fuck am I doing? Okay, cool. Take that out. So in life, wherever you may be, look at everything. Look at everyone. And then I would think, I hope, I've done it multiple times in the senses of moving, leaving what it is that I'm used to, norm, and what I was comfortable with. Whether it was the wind and the wave in life that took me somewhere, or whether it was just a solid choice that, no, this is where I'm going to go and I'm going to claim. You know, I'm going to say that this is home now. This is where we're at and this is what we're doing. Currently I'm doing it now here in Lindsay, Ohio. You know, we were living in Florida. I loved it. Most typical 60, 70, 80 degrees, Christmas on the beach, palm tree in the front yard, beautiful. But when it came down to the choice, and even me, again, we'll go back to personal growth, me and my wife's decision to stay up here was based upon not just us, but also our children, so that our children had the opportunity to grow up together, you know, to have that unit. So that in the sense, when they need somebody, they have somebody, they have family. So we stayed here. And in that choice, again, going back to this root of personal growth, not only did I have to be myself, but I also had to lightweight adapt to something that I thought I was used to, but I don't think I was as used to as I'm now, honestly, currently a little bit more used to. And it's just the culture and way of life. So when you go somewhere else, be prepared to experience a different culture. Be prepared. And you know what? Be excited about that. I'm going to say that too. I mean this from the bottom of my heart. So be excited to go see new things. Be excited to go meet new people. Be excited to be out here in life experiencing different experiences with different people in different places. Be excited about that, because there's a lot of people that don't get the opportunity, and a lot of people, it's because they don't take the opportunity. I think that we all can do these things if we all set our focus on it, meaning keeping the main thing. That's focusing. That's literally focusing. And from what I'm told in the brain, man, and the spirit as well, if you focus strong enough and long enough on something, trust and believe, you're going to bring it upon you. Good or bad, though. So you want to make sure in that law of attraction. It's a real thing. It's a real thing out here. In the personal growth, you're going to need this. I just found it out here not too long ago myself, but you know what is real? The law of attraction. It's the things that you think about. It's the things that you speak about. It's the things that you do every day that draws that energy to you. Some people are constantly speaking negative. Brody told me one day, he's like, bro, I don't care what people say. I pray all the time. And you know what? I pray for all kinds of stuff, but you know what? I get it. Not only do I get it, I understand that the devil answers prayers too. So be wise what you're picking up. But make sure that if you're obviously good in your intention, you're good in your heart, Lord's in it, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and you're giving credit where the credit's deserved and goes. That's what it is. You know you got a good plan. You know you got a good play. You got a great teacher, an amazing coach, hopefully a great team, because it's going to take that team to make the dream work. Believe it. And it ain't even got to be a dream. The reality is it's going to take multiple people to make something productive. You can do your part. It's whatever it is you're best at. I believe in communication and I believe in competence. Those are the two things that you need for execution. A person has to communicate, and you got to be well at it. You got to be good at it. It's got to be something that you work on day to day. It's got to be something that you focus on day to day. These are all things that are going to help you in your personal growth and becoming the best you, basically popping the top off of what you even thought you had inside of you. That's what I love to see out of people. That's what honestly helps me continue to, again, whether I'm just because it's fermenting, I got something in the kitchen, I'm cooking. I just gotta let the air out, like burping the baby in a bottle in the joint. So, gotta let a little bit of air out, cool. Go right back to the mix, doing what you're doing. Commit to what it is that you do in life. And I think if you commit to that, it's gonna obviously commit to you. But don't be afraid, like I said. Don't fear going to other places because you don't know people. And because everybody I know is here, or I grew up here. Man, this is my block, this is my hood, this is my set, this is what I rep. Whatever it may be, I pray that people can get to the point, and if people are obviously still doing this shit, but get to the point to where it's, scratch all that, because is that really, really, really paying for everything that I'm dealing with right now? Is it worth it? I took it once, man, I ain't gonna lie, and I used to move around and maneuver around and work out, and if you can figure that out, then you know what I'm talking about. And I did the math on the hours, bro, and it was horrible. The math and the hours was horrible. Like, it was like working a 120-hour week and making good money, but you working a 120-hour week, like, with no benefits and actually a whole bunch of stress. But again, I understand that in that personal growth, we're all going to do what we're going to do. And I learned a lot in it. I learned a lot out of it. I paid a lot for that, you know what I mean? In the sense of the degrees that I hold, that will probably burn down trees. I earned that degree, though. I earned that in life. I experienced these things in life to speak about these. And know that anything that comes out of my mouth on this podcast or in person or anywhere in life, typically it's more of an experience than it is a view. But it's still technically a view from the experience and from my eyes seeing and doing and experiencing it. Another person on the other side of that may see that another way. And that's, I also believe, is how we all grow. We all grow, but we grow together. Instead of growing apart with all of the debating and all of the arguing and all of the, you got to do this to become this. No, let's sit down and chop that up and really look at it. Let's break it all down to the ridiculous, to where you're looking at it apples to apples instead of apples to mansions. When people look at the scholastic difference of things, when it's the person giving it to you versus the actual thing they're saying. I've seen so many people give the best messages, but it was like the wrong messenger. If you understand what I'm saying, where I've seen drug counselors that have never been addicted to drugs, it's odd. I've seen people that taught Alcoholics Anonymous that have never had a sip of alcohol. And I'd be like, well, damn, how are you really going to talk to the person that was over here banging people in bars for brandy? It's going to be a little difficult to talk about that type of a down when you've really never been down there. I can't sit here and educate nobody on El Salvador. I ain't never been there. I can read everything I want to read about it, but until you really get a native narrative to any subject, I think, or topic, I think you're going to have a diluted opinion is best, or an educated opinion at best. There you go. At worst, it'll be a diluted opinion, meaning and really stressing on the fact that everything that's written is real. That sounds ridiculous. So I don't knock education. It's a part of personal growth, and I don't knock anything that has to do with personal growth. But I also will never in my life knock experience, because that's the true teacher in life next to Christ, I would say. is experience, because that's something that, and I think that would be the point of why he would be the great teacher, is because of the experience and what was experienced and what was actually gone through. What a person goes through, if they're able to really transfer that message and energy on to other people, I think that's one of the greatest things in life to do and love, is to give someone else the education or the knowledge or the wisdom that you have to do great things with it, versus keep it, hold it, and just die with it. Like, that sounds so depressing, horrible, and shitty, all at the same time. Selfish as shit. That's where, if I ever in my life, my mama told me, boy, you work yourself out of gig. And she was right. And you would tell people the secret to get in and they would lock you out. Don't tell people the secret to lock you out of your own gifts. And that's something I've done in my life, and with no wish but a prayer that it never happens again. Because again, I'm the type of person that if I'm given the game, I want to give it to you. Because I want to see you have the same opportunities, if not more, than I had. Because then at that point, it's going to make a better world. Period. More people doing better would make it a better place. More people doing horrible would make it a horrible place. There's really, I'm sure there's another view. I'm sure there's another opinion. And I'm more than willing, Lord knows, to listen to it. And it may make me think different. And again, if that happens, I don't fight that. But I think that's going to be a heavy debate. I think it's going to take somebody that, again, that it's going to take that to really be real to win that debate. Otherwise, I really don't debate about things that I don't think I can really win with. It's kind of silly. I don't jump in a ring with something I don't know nothing about. I leave that for people that know about it. And then if it crosses into the lane that I'm in, and it's like, oh yeah, well, if that relates to this, then I can kind of understand that. That's kind of weird. I looked over and there's no Deb. We're missing her review. We love her. And she'll be back next week again. But in the meantime, in between time, we're covering this here personal view. Again, the other side of the view, and this is really more for the audio, for people that are live right now. This is also it's on audio. You can get it on Facebook. You can get it on Twitter. You can go to YouTube. You can go to SoundCloud. You can go to You can go to, there's a couple other places that we have it. Blogspot. And then we also have the www.theothersideoftheview.com. So right now, this is episode 5, I believe. We're on the 5th episode, technically 6th week. We had the one lapse. And again, the one thing we're working on is consistency. And back to the topic is because I believe that consistency is something that you need to actually obtain, reach, and have that personal growth that's going to make you either outgrow you or become the best you. However that really is, outgrowing you or becoming the best you. And that's that masterpiece I think that you and the master kind of put together. But it takes those choices. It takes those actions. It takes that faith. It takes that courage. Big word, courage. It takes the courage to lead what you're used to. You've been around your whole life. I remember when I moved to New York City, and it's a funny story. My adopted mama, Mama Earl, she passed away. God bless her soul. I love her and miss her. A very wise woman. And she told me that, boy, you ain't ready to go to New York City. I'm telling you that. Your brother's in New York, and I don't want you to think that you're going to go there and lay up underneath them and have these handouts. I told her, no, Mama, I got people there and I'm straight. She said, boy, how much money you got in your pocket? And I told her, and she laughed. And I'm not used to hearing her giggle, laugh, chuckle about really too much of nothing. Everything, again, she spoke about typically was the fact of something and or it was foolish speaking. I don't yak about that. We ain't got nothing. So I sat there and I told her the number. Let me tell y'all the number. It was $860. Yeah, it was 800. Boy, I'm telling you, I get lied. It was $860. And I took off. And I took off in a cold, like almost cold month. I left it in October. And I said, Mom, I got it. She's like, boy, listen, I'm not telling you that you're not mentally, spiritually, or physically even ready for New York City. I have no doubts in my mind that you have a very strong mind and a strong will, and that you'll be all right. And she believed that if you did good and if you do all right, you're going to be all right. that was my mother Hayes, my grandmother's phrase. If you do all right, you're gonna be all right. And she was right. But she said $860 ain't gonna cut it in New York City. And I'm like, Mom, I'm telling you, I got you. You know, I done lived on $18 a month. So I went ahead and took off to New York City. And I did. I lived in Brooklyn, actually in Bushwick, over on Palmetto off of Broadway. Beautiful. I loved it in the sense it's the middle of the hood, but it's what I could afford. It was $25 a night. I remember you sleeping in a bunk. If you ever had a bunk bed, but it was a bunk bed like out the joint, steel bunk bed with a mattress. And bunk, and he's getting $25 a night in each room. And if you add that up for the month, it's $750 a month for a bunk. So she was right. And I did have a job and everything was working cool. But what it came out to be is not just the amount that I was making, but again, my habits, my personal habits in the senses of I drink soda, I smoke cigarettes, I partake in the seed given from the earth. We all know what that is. So, you know, these are things that I do. So in that, those are expenses in my life. Had I had really no expenses, no, I was making breaks and I was fine. I had no issues. And continuing still on my way pursuing, putting out that message there in music. So it all worked out. I learned a lot of great things, but it took 31 days for me to exhaust myself financially and then not want to exhaust my resources where I'm from and keeping me there, which that's the difference. A lot of people, it's fair. I ain't calling, I ain't making no accusations or pointing no pistol and shooting at you, that you got people to keep you in the place that you're at, or you have the resources to stay where you are, versus you don't really have the resources or don't want to stress the resources that you have to stay somewhere. So I talked to her my last day in New York. I was leaving to go get another job, the interview, and they wouldn't, the store, I believe, the carryout wasn't opening within so many days. Like 2 weeks later, it was going to open. And I called my mom. I was like, hey, you know, this place is going to open. I'm making this. What do you think? She goes, boy, if you don't get your ass back home and quit playing, you ain't prepared for that. You haven't outgrown where you're at, really. You think you have, but you haven't. And you've done a lot here. You've had bars, you've had convenience stores, you've had cell phone stores, clothing stores, merchant service companies. You've helped people establish multi-million-dollar businesses. You've done all kinds of shit, plus you was in the street. So you've done all these things here, but it doesn't mean you've outgrown where you're at. It just means, obviously, you need to shift. You need your roles got to shift. So my role shifted, and I noticed she was right. Not only was I not prepared financially, but I found out that I really wasn't prepared but financially and mentally. Mentally, I wasn't prepared to take on what I took on, but what I wasn't was scared. You know, I had the courage, and that's where we come back to that point that I made a minute ago, that you gotta have the courage to leave where you're at to go do something great. You gotta be willing to do something you've never done to expect to get something you've never had. If you've never had paper, then you're gonna have to do things that you've never done to get paper. So and please let it be something good. Let it be something that's residual. If you don't know that word, something that's gonna be repetitive, it's gonna continue to feed you. Let it be something like that. I got a headlight restoration business. This is something that people, as long as we have people on this earth and there's cars on this earth, I have employment. You know, people that are in the nursing field, as long as there's people on this earth, there's going to be people that are going to need help in health. People that have funeral, I don't care what it is that you can think of. Either I would say, look to have your own, always. But you're going to have to study underneath somebody. So I was told once to make sure that you in life have a 9 to 5. But if you are aspiring anything, you're going to have a 5 to 9. So you're going to be putting in them 12s, period, 13, 14-hour days. But no, man, I'm telling you, it will be worth it. I have seen it. I have reaped the benefits of it many a times. I've helped people climb that ladder without hands in pockets. Some of them actually, I just dragged them up by the back of the shirt. I'm taking you with us. And there ain't nothing good in that because they ain't have to work for it. But in the sense, to be able to climb that ladder, you have to be able to be focused. You have to be able to have a good plan, but you have to have a good product. You have to have a good service. You have to have something that you're willing to move forward with. But you're going to also have to do this underneath somebody else. You have to learn with somebody else this part of the game, unless it's something innovative that is not out here yet, which is really hard. But hey, most people are just making other things better. It's really what we continue to do as man. We continue to grow. We continue to, again, become whatever it is that we're meant to be. I believe it's scripted, practically predicted, but we all got to play out where life is a play. We all have to play out our play, our role, our part. So that's the whole point of this podcast, to be completely 1,000% honest. Is hoping that people pick up a couple things that I've picked up. So these are things that I'm telling you that I've done, and these things work. So I'm not sitting here trying to jerk nothing. I ain't so here trying to play with nothing. I really don't appreciate people that do that. People like that, I like not. I really like less than anything. I like people, and I really thoroughly enjoy and love speaking to people that have something to share, something to bring to the table. I don't like a whole bunch of people come in the room, just sit down, man, and they ain't doing nothing but eating and yakking with their mouth open, food falling. I like to see people that actually come in and shit, they're all in. They come in and I'm all in, man. I think that what you're doing is great, or I got something great to bring to the table. Or, hey, here's a great idea. For me, I've always been the person that cut the person in on the bread. Ain't no good, you're gonna make some toast, you want no butter, I get it. But for me, I like to keep it fresh, man. I like to keep things circular. I like to keep people involved because I like to be involved. I like to keep people energized if I can, because I like to be energized. I like to see people in love because I love being in love. I guess as we all do, and we all stick to what it is that we like to, but the enlightenment of it is maybe we should look at other things too. Maybe we should pay attention to other things as well. Maybe we should look at other people and see exactly how did this person succeed or how did this person fail, versus fuck him, he's rich, or fuck him, he's a bum. This person became a bum somehow, and something happened in their personal growth that didn't work out, and it's not a snicker at the person on the bottom. Trust me, I'm the one to stop and give him a bottle and a snicker. That's just me. I'm that person that believes in giving. I'm a giver, not to take it too much. But on this side, you got the person that's super successful and people believe like, I don't really want to talk to him. He's snooty. And it's just the assumption. Just as much as they think the person on the bottom of the ground is ignorant, and that's far from the truth on both ends. I've met plenty of people that are successful that had no issue, no problem, mentoring and giving the game to somebody that's really like passionate about learning it. People that have a passion to learn, I found out, I'm a person that thoroughly enjoys learning. Like myself personally, people have been more than willing to give me the game I've asked for. Over here, it's the same thing. I've been really in life, hey man, how'd you become a crackhead? Like, I heard you was sucking dick in the alley. They was like, yeah, man, the 80s was crazy, man. I had a job, and then they laid me off, and then my wife left, and then my kids called me bums, and, shit. I figured I'd hit it, and the next thing you know, bro, I couldn't quit it. And I'd be like, damn, like, you didn't figure this out yet? And they're like, no, honestly, I figured it out, but I don't care. And this is what I enjoy doing, so I hope you ain't here to talk me out of it or try to. This is what I enjoy doing. And, nah, I really didn't try to talk the people out of it. We spoke a little bit about the Lord, I would say, again, do you think that this is really using the best, A, of your body, but B, of your time? He says, as you're sitting there smoking a cigarette with me, do you think you could be doing something better else? And I laugh because as I'm hurting my body, and could I have been doing something else? Most definitely. So he got a point. This is what he's choosing to do. And people in life, remember this. Please never forget this. You're going to have people that you're going to want to try to take with you. You're going to want to try to move with. You're going to want to move with them. Maybe that's not the point. Maybe they're supposed to stay right where they're at. Maybe that's what they want to do. Maybe that's where they choose to be. And if a person chooses to live somewhere and live through and live and do something, who are we to stop them Or B, why would you stop yourself from moving on when this person doesn't want to move on? This person is straight where they're at. And I used to have this big, huge problem about trying to take everybody with me. I'm the nigga trying to take the whole hood. Not just one hood. I try to take the whole city. Like everybody that I knew in it. Like, hey man, listen, this is what we doing, bro. This the play. This the plan. We about to get it. Man, come on. You the man, you the man, you the man, you the man. Everybody Chiefs. I want everybody to be Chiefs. It's just not the reality, man. That's the love of it. That's the feel of it. That's a feeling. That's an emotion. That's not the truth. It's not how it really works, bro. My car's it's a 4-seater. And I don't like riding loaded, you feel me? So for us, we can only take who it is that we can take. Meaning again, that's trust. As much as I learned that, I trust everybody as far as the fact, like, can you hurt me? Can you stop progress of what I'm doing? Can you do something to me? At that point, if you couldn't, and I knew better, looking in your soul through your eyes, then I would trust you. Because again, I knew better. For the person that I knew was probably 9 out of 10 about to try to get over, I didn't trust you. So finding out that everybody and anybody can get you, whether or not they can hurt you physically or not, whether you could knock a head off the shoulders, you know what I mean? It don't wash the fact that you can also have your head knocked off your shoulders. And you can also lose it all by trusting the wrong person and the wrong people. So be very, very, very aware of the snake in the grass, the spider on the wall, because they're out there. These are people that look at you, they watch you, they hang around you. You know, they smell you, they talk to you, they sit down with you. You know, they want to know the lowdown, and they want to know where you're looking at going. Really just to tear you down. Really just to keep you there. You know, really just to make sure that you ain't really doing nothing because they ain't really doing nothing. They don't have good vibes to give you. They don't have good energy to share with you. They don't have a positive word to say to you because that's just not who they are. So everybody's not like that. So you want to be real careful of not only who you get energy from, be real careful who you share energy with. Because people would love to. There are people out here that love to suck good energy from people. So you want to make sure that you keep yourself, I'd say armored and, you know what I'm saying, protected, you know, and yes, that's in the senses of prayer and faith. And I would also say just to be wise in the look of a person's face, because that's where it's shown. Look at their face. Look into their eyes. Look at their mouth when they speak. Look at their nose. Look at the cheeks. Look at the antimony that a person gives you of how they're really feeling about you, your people, your conversation, whatever it may be. And it's really, really, really going to spark. It's almost like plant food, the growth when it comes to you and yourself, because then the masks come off, the glasses come off. You know, you don't see it the way you've been seeing it. You see it for how it really is. And some people like to see things sheer. They like to look through. That's cool. That's your choice. Myself personally, I like to see through things. And that's the way I've always done things, and that's how I've always got things done. So we're going to go ahead and call it, man. You know, I appreciate it. I was hoping more people call in. Didn't even get to it. I got to do better on promoting. I got to do better on getting that number out there to more people. But again, the topic was personal growth, man. Even if it's later today, even if it's tomorrow, even if it's next week, drop a comment on it. Listen to the video. Let us know how you feel about personal growth. B, outgrowing yourself. C, outgrowing other people. We love to see comments. We love the interaction. We appreciate all the love, the shares, the likes, those things. Man, one love. God bless on y'all for that. And as well, if you can continue to do that, you know, these are how things grow. I really believe that people that are doing positive things really got to start promoting and helping other people promote positive things. Can't always be about self, but I think if you see somebody out here doing something great, man, or doing something that they ain't hurt nobody, help them out. Share it if it's something online. Like it, you know, and if you don't like it, let them know you don't like it. It's all about a conversation. That's what we're hoping and praying to generate. It's conversations to where it's not all bottled up. You know, everybody's got so much, I believe, in this country bottled up, views, opinions, and all these other things. When if you had a conversation with somebody that you were thinking was like this, and you believe was like, and then you have a conversation with them to find out that that's not the case, you just unloaded and relieved yourself of something that you're always uptight about. So I believe not only within ourselves and from above, but within each other, there's a lot of answers. So personal growth, other side of the view, week 5. God bless y'all. One love. Take care.